When it comes down to it, I think that Jon Jones is the best in history.
You do think he's the GOAT?
At this point, yes, his level of competition is unmatched.
Well, I believe that I'm already the greatest fighter of all time. You know, my record speaks for itself.
Hold up, not so fast. Before we begin, I just want to state this is not in any way, shape, or form a Jon Jones hate video. I've actually grew up to like Jones quite considerably, but to call him the GOAT, the greatest of all time, is a little bit of an overstatement. I feel like the biggest and most glaring thing holding Jones back from the GOAT discussion is his positive test for performance enhancement drugs. Not only was it just a one-time mistake, brushed off to the side and move on, but USADA has caught and banned Jones multiple times for taking multiple substances. The first time was right before UFC 200, Jones vs. Cormier 2. Jones tested positive for 2 banned substances, hydroxychloromethanes and a letrozole metabolite, I think I'm saying that correctly. And if you have no idea what these substances are like I did, they basically inhibit estrogen from being produced in the body and subsequently boost testosterone levels. Jones was banned for 1 year, rightfully so. Fast forward a year and Jones is set to fight Daniel Cormier again at UFC 214. In this fight, Jones fought sensationally and knocked out Cormier in the 3rd round. Good stuff, man, good stuff. But it turned out Jones was also taking the good stuff before the fight. He failed yet another drug test the night before the fight. You would think that a 1-year layoff would have done Jones good, and he would have thought about his prior mistakes. But no, a suspension of this time 4 years was slapped onto his name once again, but was later turned into only 18 months. Now this begs the question, did Jones think that the only way he could beat Cormier again was to take these substances? Did he think Cormier posed that much of a threat to where he went out of his way and put the fight in jeopardy by taking these drugs? I'm gonna have to think yes. Take it or leave it, it's just my opinion, but I think Jones knew that Cormier would be a huge challenge to overcome, and so his only option in his mind was to take PEDs in order to gain the upper hand. And upon his second return to the UFC, Jones almost got banned yet again before UFC 232 against Gustafsson. Jones tested positive for the same metabolite that got him in trouble before UFC 214. Scientists said that the trace amounts of metabolite that were found in his system this time, though, weren't due to re-ingestion. Take it for what you will, but this controversy would also tarnish Jones' name. And let me just step in real quick. Clearly when he watches fights on roids and not on roids, there is a huge difference in his durability, stamina, and athleticism. Also, Jones' record in my book isn't as good as it looks. Jones vs. Gustafsson was an extremely close fight, and was the first time that Jones had to go up against someone that had a very similar build. Now in my opinion, did I think Jones lost this fight? No. But this fight showed that Jones is human like the rest of us when he isn't taking anabolic steroids. But now if you ask me who I think won UFC 247, Jones vs. Reyes, no doubt, man. I don't care what you say, you gotta beat the champion to be the champion. Jones had the better finish, Reyes is a bitch. It doesn't take away from the fact Reyes clearly won the first 3 rounds. There's no special scoring for championship bouts, you know that, right? You don't gotta knock out the champion. Jones was running in those rounds, maybe indicative of him taking the McGregor Fast program, but still, he looks shook out there. And lastly, Jones is just a dirty fighter. He can preach the gospel as much as he wants, beg for forgiveness, but that's not going to change the fact that he purposely, with intent, tries to gouge the eyes out of his victims. And when asked about it, he said, and I quote, "I don't believe it's dirty," and he opted to go with the term instinctual instead. Now that's the words of a guilty man right there. And just to go back to the Reyes fight, I maybe counted 10 times that Dan Miragliotta told Jones to not have his fingers extended. This is a man with bad intentions, dark intentions, blind intentions. Now am I saying Jones isn't the best light heavyweight champ of all time? Of course not, because he is. But what I am saying is he for sure is not the GOAT. There can only be one, and it isn't him. Well, that's about all for today. If you enjoyed this video and like to see more, please subscribe and click that button. It's pretty simple. Also, if you want to see some funny, entertaining content, go follow the benchkings Instagram. And if you really want to, if you're really feeling generous, go follow our 2 Shots of Sauce Instagram, which showcases our podcast best moments. Thank you guys. We'll see you on the next one.